All right, let's dive in and pull back the curtain on the incredible, and let's be honest, kind of crazy world of event management. We're going to walk through the entire life cycle, right? From that first little spark of an idea all the way to the very end, after the last person has gone home. Just think about the last amazing event you went to, a concert, a wedding, whatever. It probably just flowed, right? It felt effortless. But behind that magic, there is a mountain of planning, coordination, and split-second problem solving. So how does that all happen? Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down. Okay, so where do we even begin? Let's start with the basics, the foundation. Before we can jump into the how-to, we've got to get a real handle on the what. What is this thing we call event management? At its heart, event management is a real profession. Seriously, think of it like taking all the super organized principles of project management, planning, budgeting, executing, and applying them to the creative, sometimes chaotic process of building an experience for people. It's really the art and the science of bringing people together. And the world of events is just massive. I mean, it's not just about weddings and parties. We're talking huge corporate conferences, major cultural festivals, and these things called MICE events. That's meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. These can be giant tourism drivers that literally define a city's economy for the year. So, you've got an idea for an event. Awesome. But hold on, you can't just start calling up caterers. Just like an architect has to draw up a detailed blueprint before anyone lays a single brick, you need a plan. This is that critical pre-planning stage where the big vision gets turned into an actual, workable strategy. And that blueprint stage really breaks down into 4 clear steps. First, you have to understand the why. What are the client's goals? Then you figure out who this is all for. And analyzing your audience is so important because a concept that a bunch of tech execs would love might totally bomb at a family-friendly music festival. Only then, once you know the why and the who, can you develop the creative theme. And finally, you wrap all of that up into a rock-solid project plan with timelines and checklists that will guide every single decision from here on out. All right. We've got our blueprint. Now we get to shift into operations. This is where the paper plans start to become a physical reality. It's the nitty-gritty, the hands-on work of actually building this experience from the ground up. Building the event starts with the actual space. And this isn't just about picking a cool-looking venue. You've got to think about how people will move through the space, plan for all the power you'll need, make sure the Wi-Fi is bulletproof, and of course, figure out all the food, drinks, and all the techie audio-visual gear. It is a super complex logistical puzzle where every single piece has to fit just right. An event is nothing without the army of people making it run. The operations team has to find and manage every single vendor, from the caterer to the security guards. They hire and manage all the staff and volunteers, and then on the day of the event, they are the on-the-ground commanders making sure everyone and everything is moving in perfect sync. Now, while all of this is going on, an event manager is constantly juggling 2 absolutely critical priorities that will make or break the whole thing: the money and the experience of every single person who walks through the door. You have to look at the money situation from 2 sides. On one hand, you have to be super strict with cost control. That means detailed budgets, assessing risks, all that. But on the other hand, you have to generate revenue. That's your ticket prices, sponsorships, partnerships. You have to be a master of both sides of this equation for an event to even have a chance of being financially successful. But look, even if the numbers work, this is what people are going to remember. The guest experience is everything. It's about amazing service, sure, but it's also about having a solid plan for when things go wrong. And these days, it's about even more. It's about being culturally sensitive and showing a real commitment to sustainability. That's not just a nice bonus anymore, it's a core expectation. So, we're getting close to the end of the life cycle, but the job is far from over. Let's look at the skills that really make a great event manager and the final steps that make sure an event leaves a lasting, positive legacy. To succeed in this business, you need this crazy mix of skills. You have to be a top-notch project manager, a bit of a financial wizard, and a marketing genius all at once. And on top of that, you need to be an amazing problem solver with an almost obsessive attention to detail. Oh, and you have to be great with people. It's a hugely challenging but really dynamic role. And here is one last, really important point. The event is not over when the lights go out. The life cycle only truly ends after the evaluation. You have to analyze what worked, what didn't, and report on it. That's how you actually measure success, and it's how you make sure the next event you plan is even better. So there it is, the whole journey, from a simple concept all the way to the final curtain call. It's complex, it's demanding, but it's also an incredibly rewarding process. So, the only real question left is, now that you see what it takes, do you have the vision and the skill to create the next unforgettable experience?